Luke.
Hello.
The summer is over.
I mean, there's been no summer here. The summer's just beginning for me because we've had the wettest August like ever or something, and it's been horrible. But it was finally like 25 degrees this week, so get to enjoy a little bit of sun. Starting again, life's returning to normal.
Yeah. And look, you're here for the first time. Where are you based? Introduce yourself a little bit for the people who might not know you yet.
Yes, I'm Luke. I'm here at the office of Proud Nerds in the Netherlands, and yeah, I'm really interested to see where we're going with this. It's nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I've been. I was thinking about who we could get on umbraCoffee this month, and I think it's been like every couple of days I've seen on LinkedIn one of your amazing posts doing something either crazy with AI integrations or talking about upgrades. So we thought it'd be a very logical choice to have you on. So thanks for joining. We can dive into those things a bit more, but maybe you want to tell us a bit about you. What do you do? I know you say you work at Proud Nerds, but like how long have you worked with Umbraco? What brought you to the community?
Yeah. Well, actually, I've been working with Umbraco for quite some time. I think I started with Umbraco 4, actually, and we're not supposed to say that, but I actually did a training course on Umbraco 6, the version we should not mention. Yeah, I guess, but it's in my daily life I work with Umbraco, and here at Proud Nerds I usually work on packages and making things modular. And I was also tasked with doing the upgrades of our internal packages from 13 to 15 and now 16. And a few years ago I was like, yeah, I've been working with Umbraco for so long now. Why don't I get more acquainted with the community? Let's just start with going to Discord. And that was an eye-opener. And because I felt it was missing key information and when are new things coming out, what's going on behind the scenes. And then Sebastian made this amazing new forum, which I'm very active on. Yeah. And I noticed that a lot of people had issues with the new back office with Bellissima and found it difficult to do. And because I have had all this time updating the packages, I also decided to share some knowledge, both on the forum and with blog posts. So that's where I'm coming from. Yeah.
Awesome.
So we'll be sharing some of the content from your stuff. I will be talking and Callum talk through because I cannot see you while doing both.
Yeah, no. I was going to say I was also browsing the forum the other day. It's not somewhere that I check into all that often, but somebody linked me to a post and I was reading it and I clicked back to the homepage and I think your face, Luke, was lighting up like at least half of the active topics on there at that time as well. So yeah, very busy on the forum too. We could talk a bit about the posts you've made. So the Umbraco 13 to 16 upgrade guide series. Is it a series? Can we call it a series?
Yeah. That's why I didn't want to leave too much time between the different blog posts. That's why there's some speed involved, and sometimes they have just a little sidestep, and I write a blog about that. But I'm mostly working on the blogs for this series, and it's a selection of things I came across when updating the packages. Some common things that people who will just update Umbraco when 17 comes out. Obviously, there's not even RC4 for 17, of course, but at least have some idea what to expect, because I expect 17 to not be that different from 16. It's based on a presentation I did for the developers here. It's explicitly not meant to be an introduction to how to extend the back office, because that's a massive topic and something completely different. I might do that in the future, but yeah, that's not going to be a few blog posts, I guess. But I'm also active in the Umbraco community doc team, so I hope I also can make a difference there with explaining some of the concepts in the new back office. Yeah,
it's been, these sorts of articles have been super helpful in the past when it's come to these big changes that people start undertaking, and especially now where like people are going to start looking at the new back office a bit more, because the new LTS is 3-4 months away at this point, and so people have been sort of coasting along for 2 years, living in very happy V13 land, me included, and now having to start to think and looking for these resources. So it's amazing that they're being put out there. We were chatting before we went live about how we're all approaching upgrades at the moment. It seems like at least us, maybe all of us, are involved in some kind of big upgrade right now. We're taking 4 websites, 4 separate Umbraco sites currently, and combining them into a single one. And we've chosen 13 as our target version for now, just because it feels safe and feels like a warm, fuzzy home where we know things work fairly well. And then we think we might still take the jump and go from 13 to 16, because I do feel a bit wrong delivering a client a brand new website on 13 when the RC for when the LTS is so close. But I don't know, Marcin, you were complaining about problems you're having with 16, so maybe I'm not so sure.
I think again, it's still kind of a part of the learning curve. I was going to mention that even dinosaurs right now are looking on the 16 already, and we were trying to avoid it for a long time, and now we can't. We shouldn't, as you've mentioned, because the LTS is just behind the corner. But there's a lot of things being different, a lot of things that are still maybe requiring some work, and a lot of issues reported and being reported all the time. I'm trying to keep an eye on that as well, because we are heavily testing and experiencing a lot of problems as well. But I think it's something what needs to be fixed before LTS, ideally, right? Because we all want to build something and again feel safe again. And I mentioned that before we went live, that I felt like, okay, version 13, we feel safe, we know how to build things, we build things extremely fast, and now we can't. And again, I'm getting to the position where I need to change the approaches, attitudes, and also await some things which were previously working. Nested content, we all talked about it before going live. Right now, I did exploit a huge issue for us when we tried to nest again your domain column, multi-mega navigation, for example, right?
Yeah.
We want to nest it and build it with simple blocks, and it turns out that when we have more than 4 levels and some various blocks, it just fails and crashes the whole site, and I need to recreate database from scratch, because I can't even resave it without any blocks anymore, because I don't know what is happening. And previously I knew where I can look for it, and now I see a lot of new classes, a lot of new services, a lot of new things which I don't know, and I'm just getting lost. But that's a nice feeling at the same time.
It's super easy to complain about, and I know you've raised an issue for that. I just looked at it. The screenshot does make me laugh quite a lot. It's a lot of nesting, and it does. Yeah. But we have to accept that the back office that's in 13 has existed for about 6 years, since 2019 with V8, and even that was a refinement on top of the V7 back office. So it's more like sort of 10, maybe 12 years old, that tech stack, and that's 12 years of people doing things like you're doing, Marcin, and saying, hey, it doesn't work, and getting it fixed. And 14 has existed for 18 months at this point, and it is where we're all going to have to move to, but it's not going to have that same level of maturity. So I don't know. I think I flip-flop on a daily basis between how willing I am to go and accept all of that change and all of those challenges. But
well, the main thing is that if you didn't extend the back office that much, upgrade isn't going to be that hard. And that's the point also of the blogs I'm writing. It's like the small things, some functions have changed, the service that has changed, you set up your API just a little bit different with some other annotations, which are documented actually pretty well. It's the back office that has changed. So for a normal site with not that much change to the back office, it's not going to be a huge problem. Probably in my experience so far with 16 has been pretty good. 14 was a little rough. 15 was a bit better and starting to get better, especially 15.2 had a lot of nice bug fixing, but I think 16 so far is in a pretty good place, actually. And from an agency standpoint, we have exactly the same issue. Are we going to build new sites in Umbraco 13 when a new LTS version is coming along soon? So we decided that around 16, we would start new projects in 16 with the idea of updating to 17 when we're probably done with the project. 17 is almost out, or even maybe it's out.
It's exactly what we've done, and I think actually pre 14, we were very bullish on, we'll just use the latest version of Umbraco, it doesn't really matter. And with the things that have changed, we've held off a bit more on the 14, 15, 16 series, but I'm quite hopeful that once we have a sight onto 17, we'll be like, yeah, okay, great, let's just keep it up to date on our on the short-term releases. I don't think that's going to be a huge problem for us, but it's that mental barrier almost of we've got to get there first and feel that same comfort that we get from 13 before we start being a bit more rapid in accepting change a bit more quickly.
Yeah, we're being used that the updates are really simple, like from 9 to 10 to 11 to 12, it was all really simple, and then 13 was also simple, and 14 has been the outlier if you look at it from that perspective.
Yeah, for sure.
And the thing is, let's also have the positive note here is that from my experience, especially when working with packages, is that yes, there's of course a learning curve, especially if you're a C# developer who needs to work with TypeScript and npm. It's really something to get to know that. But I can honestly say that the packages for here that are in 15 and 16 are of extremely higher quality than the packages we had in 13 because of being more or less forced to use TypeScript, having the web components, separate concerns, actual support for web components. I mean, I've been trying to use the UUI library components in my AngularJS controllers in the Umbraco 13 version, but yeah, they don't always play nice. So yeah, I'm really happy.
The way I feel, I'm not a front end developer really, and I was skeptical about having to learn all this new tech stack for building in the back office, and I must say that building a package, building anything custom for the new back office feels more like you're architecting a software solution rather than you're hacking something together, which is what Angular felt like. So it might result in more lines of code, but they're probably better, more readable lines of code, better structured, as you said, Luke, better separation of concerns. And it's exactly how I would have liked as a backend dev to be architecting my backend. So actually, it's fantastic that I can do things kind of the same way or following similar patterns that I'm used to. So yeah, it's good. It's good. I
also have a lot of positive notes just to say and it was mainly about the content, to be fair, because I was surprised because we always aim, I don't know, look if you are doing the same with the updates, but we are also trying to migrate content, as much content as we can, obviously, when we also upgrading. And now when we are recreating from even 8 to 13, we were able to migrate all of the content in between of those versions. And now we have a couple of the projects where we do the same for the newest versions, and also content is possible to be recreated. So it's just now needs to be, it will be quite simple if everything will work. And what I'm finding only missing are small bits and maybe those kind of habits that we used to have. For example, the Angular, what was that, the filters and labels hacks that we were able to do. And things like
I'm sure I will. I think I'm allowed to say these things. I'm sure I'm not getting an axe or anything in the post, but I'm part of the CMS advisory board, and we got a demo, a look at some of the things on the roadmap, things that are coming, and I think actually 16.2 does fix your filters thing, Marcin. So filters, so Umbraco's changed from using like Angular expressions for your label templates, using this Umbraco flavored markdown, which in my opinion is not as nice, but they have now in 16.2 introduced ways you can have functions effectively that you call to go and perform that sort of same logic. So we're getting there. We're getting there as far as, say, feature parity is concerned. There's things like being able to click on the entire block to open the block and edit it rather than just the little edit thing. Like, I know it's a little light improvement, but it's back in 16 and you can now do that. So there's overall more polish in the product, and things are finally getting a bit more comfortable, I think. Keyboard shortcuts are coming back, and the clipboard service is being slowly reintegrated into more and more places again in the back office, so you can copy and paste things between locations and stuff. So it's getting there. It is getting there.
In day-to-day usage, it's just some little things here and there that you're used to, like right-clicking. It's such a habit for me, but if these are the things we need to talk about, then it's in a pretty good place, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the documentation you mentioned, the functions and the Marco flavored Markdown, I think the documentation has actually already been updated. Because I had an example, I tried on 16.1 and it didn't work, and I was like, oh yeah, I think this is already updated for 16.2. So
yeah, awesome. Yeah, no, it's absolutely a
that's true.
fairly new thing, but I will go check the docs. That's awesome. That's awesome. Maybe we can talk about some other things that have been going on in the last month. I mean, there's been various, well, it's been summer, so I think it's been a bit quieter in the community, but there's been various announcements from HQ, which I find quite interesting. First and foremost, we've got a few new hires. I think we discussed on last umbraCoffee that Rick Butterfield from the community has joined Umbraco HQ, and he'll be working 50-50 commercial products on umbraco.com, which is ace to hear, just means less MVPs. And 2 more MVPs are being poached out of the community as well. We've got Laura Weatherhead has joined the DevRel team, and Phil Whitaker has joined as the sort of Umbraco AI SAR, I guess, and he's now staff engineer for AI. So he's going to be working on various AI integrations into the CMS. It's interesting because I think only maybe a month ago now, a few weeks ago, Matt Brailsford released the Umbraco Commerce MCP server. So that kind of complements the project that Phil and Matt Wise started, the Umbraco MCP server that Umbraco has now gone on and adopted. And there's been a lot of buzz about that. I don't think there's been as much excitement about anything in the Umbraco sphere for a couple of years. It's really interesting to see people embracing MCP. Luke, I know you've been playing with MCP as well, and you did some cool stuff. We'll talk about that a bit more in a minute. But maybe we can talk a little bit just on where we feel the place is for AI in Umbraco. We've mentioned this before, like maybe it's not for content generation, etc. But my gripe with the MCP thing at the moment is it's still very developer oriented, and like you're expected to integrate it into a developer tool. Luke, you've got a great post about how you can set up the Umbraco MCP server with your like GitHub Copilot. Oh, well done, Marcin. You're right on it today with the links. But yeah, like there's ways of integrating this. It's really nice, but it's still quite developer focused. I wonder if there's a path where we can see an AI solution that is editor friendly or like end user friendly, which is kind of Umbraco's whole USP. I don't know. So as you play with it, Luke, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, there are 2 things you can do with AI and Umbraco. That is in the development phase. Hey, like you said, this is really developer focused. For me, this is giving my Copilot agent when I'm developing some extra context, and that's really nice. And during development, when usually you would start your project to go into the back office, create a few document types, for instance, you could now say in the IDE, like, I want some document types, can you create them for me? And it will do that. So that's from a developer perspective. But yeah, MCP obviously can also be used for something for the end user. I mean, like a Umbraco buddy, or something, I don't know, in the back office. Where you as a developer just can ask him to do things for you, create content, stuff like that. I mean, and I think that's the way from an editor standpoint, that's now the best way to go, or the close to something realistic, helping create content, sorting things out, looking something up like an advanced search function, or clean up things that you can already do, but you have to or program it or make a dashboard for it, and maybe we can have AI do that for you, because it's much more context aware, of course, with the MCP than it used to be. Yeah,
I think so. With the Umbraco Commerce MCP, we've seen a slight change in direction. I know that Phil and the Umbraco HQ team right now are working out really what the overall AI strategy for Umbraco looks like and where they're going to take these things. MCP is just the start, and I think integrating that into more aspects of the products is going to make a lot of sense. Hence, we've seen it with commerce. But for commerce, it's less around like, perform an action. It's more give me insight, tell me information about this sort of area. And I find that a really helpful use case, I think.
I see the advantages of AI, but I'm also a skeptic, or maybe a realist, whatever you prefer. Because AI is, of course, everywhere, and everywhere you slap an AI label on it, and AI gets integrated in every single tool imaginable. I think it's a good idea to always consider what the benefit of AI is. I mean, AI is not good at everything, especially in some real use cases. I was developing something, and then you find out that it's so non-deterministic that the outcome could change every single time. It could contradict itself. It can count letters half of the time correctly, stuff like that, But what it is very good at is context, analyzing, aggregating, and especially for commerce, like your example. That's a great feature, I think, to have with AI, making sense of something that's just like a huge pile of data. But AI is not the solution for everything, and that's something people need to understand. And especially that, we have seen, of course, before that it's just making stuff up sometimes.
I was going to say that for me, I haven't played that much yet with MCPs and Umbraco's MCP for sure. But in general, if you will expose common interfaces and it will have information about what can be done, I think it would be really utilized as an interface for gathering use cases and scenarios of potential usages, and then what can be built, what should be maybe just exposed for users to be done. Let's say if 10 editors are asking for the same stupid things all the time, and this option is not available for them, maybe someone will finally develop it instead of introducing or figuring out tasks coming from the real use cases and real challenges. So as something like you've mentioned, UBuddy or something like this, if editors or developers, not only developers, will tell this interface what they want to do and they can't, for example, then we can maybe build something better for them. That's how I plan to use it, at least. I haven't used it yet, but so it will be like a database of potential ways of handling stuff. But I wouldn't allow it to do things yet. That's my concern.
Not yet. But I mean, for commerce, when you have like a visitor on your site or you sell products. I think in a few years that will be done by agents. That's also on some of the talks in Code Garden, for instance. Like, you say like, okay, I want to buy this product, and an agent, by using that MCP, will understand how it can get that product, how to do the checkout, and order that product for you. I mean, I think that's really cool, but also scary.
It's also not a massive change from where we as developers have been building systems for a number of years, which is we create API endpoints, we expose them, and we then consume them ourselves by writing JavaScript code or something else. The difference here really is that you're not writing the consumer anymore. You tell an LLM, here's how you consume my APIs, and here's essentially what the data does, or what this tool in MCP does. So it's almost like just creating API endpoints with good documentation, and then feeding them to a bypass in a comprising of a known standard, which is what MCP is. But it's just, I think ultimately Phil will tell you, if you've seen his talk even at Code Garden with Matt, that they essentially just decided key tasks they wanted to do, found the Umbraco API endpoints in the management API that they needed to call to do that, and then wrote a whole bunch of prompt around it to say, to tell an LLM, here's when you should call this tool. And that's essentially all it is. So it's not that scary when you think about it. It's anything that's possible via an API is also possible via the LLM.
You still need the APIs. I mean, you instruct the LLM how to use the APIs and what to do. I mean, it's not a one-on-one translation. It's like you mentioned, it's more or less task-based, about intent. What would a visitor possibly do what an AI agent could do? And that's how you route it. It's just not a documentation of the APIs that already is there, but how do you use the API to perform some task?
completely off track, but I'll make sure there's a link on this in the down below, which was Anthropic did an amazing research piece. They obviously do like red teaming of their LLMs all the time to make sure that they're safe, and they were doing an experiment where they created like an office shop where they had the office fridge, and they instructed an LLM running on a tablet to essentially be the shopkeeper, and it was responsible for buying and selling items, so to stock up the fridge and taking requests via Slack from the team. And it was a fantastic case story of how those kind of implementations can go wrong when there's absolutely no human involvement at all. It got to the point where the LLM was actually hallucinating and had convinced itself that it was a real human, and got very angry when someone challenged the fact that it wasn't a real human and attempted to contact Anthropic's security saying, this person should be removed from the building because they're accusing me of not existing. I'm over here in the corner in the red striped shirt. And it's like, you're not, you're a computer. But that's the scarier side of things. But when we're talking about, exposing MCP to your application, we're literally just saying, in a kind of controlled environment, let this LLM call our endpoints, provided we can protect against the LLM going crazy and calling combinations of things that it shouldn't do. But that's only going to be a combination of things that any user would be able to do as well. Then I think it's fairly safe, and it's something we could be using more widely.
Well, it depends. For instance, we have a lot of hospitals as clients, and one of the obvious things that's nice if someone can just ask something about their condition or where do we need to go, stuff like that. You can handle that with AI, of course, in natural language. That's really nice, but you do not want to give wrong medical information. So you have to be really careful in these circumstances. So and that's, I think, also a risk, of course.
Yeah. Maybe we can look at some of the more cool things that have been happening with AI and Umbraco, because Luke, you made an amazing prototype app that I think is amazing, fascinating use of technology. I don't like this term vibe coding, but we've not really got a better one, so let's keep calling it that. But you vibe coded a basic back office implementation with the management API.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's an issue at GitHub from Umbraco for a long time now that the new back office is not usable on a mobile phone. And that got me thinking. I read the issue, I understand why, I mean, priorities, focus, stuff like that. But it does also mean that you cannot do just a quick emergency edit on the road. So I understand that this is important. Yeah. So I was thinking when, for instance, our customers would have blogs on their site, how would I go about it if I wanted them to just have a small portion of the tree, or being able to edit the most important things without having the entire load of every button option from the back office. And like I said, I was working on the Umbraco community documentation team, and I was working on that. I know that the idea stuck in my head, and this was also a test. Like, okay, how far can I go without writing a single line of code?
Yeah.
And I mean, so it was double. I mean, this focuses more on the result and why I did it, but the other thing was also see what the AI can come up with and how well that works. So I haven't written. I haven't written a single line of code, I think, for this.
Great.
It doesn't mean it worked really well. I mean, it couldn't get the authentication right, for instance. So, yeah.
How long did it take to vibe code a miniature back office experience?
I think there's a matter of hours. I mean,
wow.
But I was working, of course, on the documentation. But I'm actually surprised how far we've come. I mean, the first version it created was just a list of content nodes at the root. It didn't have nesting. So I was like, yeah, but there are more nodes. So I went nesting. So it created nesting, but that would mean that this list would be massively long. So I told it, yeah, I want to have like a pop-up or a modal where you have the tree in the smallest view possible that is usable on a mobile phone to be able to quickly select a node you want to edit, and then just full screen let me see the values of the properties and let me edit them. So yeah, it actually did all this by itself. I mean, for authentication, I just gave it the client ID and a secret at some point because authentication just wasn't working. But it switched to maybe we better use the old Umbraco APIs, and it would just write all kinds of code with endpoints that no longer exist. So I had to explain to it, this is Umbraco 16, it does not exist, you know. And that's the thing with AI, the skeptical part. It's nice so far it's come. I mean, this is awesome for not writing any code, but this is not something I would even consider using somewhere in a production environment. But still, I mean, it's pretty good actually for not writing any code.
Yeah, I'm impressed, especially for only a few hours worth of prompting. That's good.
But I think that was able to have.
Sorry. And now we're using Callum, so it's really slow. I mean, that's it takes a time between each prompt as well, of course. But
But I was going to say that it's still fortunate for you that you have skills to validate if it's okay or not okay, because you have some experience. But imagine all of the people who are trying this and building this right now and trusting the solutions so much that they even release it to production. So I think this is where it still is growing, and I think that we are quite fortunate that we can have this kind of filter and judgment inside of our heads, because we know how to elevate it to a position where it can be better or good enough, but still impressive that time is saved that much efforts. And I do remember some approaches to this kind of mobile back office back in the days, and it was not that easy as now it is. And we can look forward for some more vibe coded solutions, but it's not there yet in my eyes still.
Well, someone recently said, I read it somewhere, that we're software engineers, we're not coders. And that's a really good response to anyone saying, but AI will take over your job. No, it won't. It will change. But in the end, we're the ones who need to take an idea, convert it into concrete solutions. And of course, let AI do the bulk of the work, please, especially the boring part, or writing documentation, you know. AI. The thing is that in the end, especially larger projects that go on for a longer time, that need to have proper maintenance,
for sure,
new features, it needs to have a certain quality, and AI is at least now not capable of making all these kinds of decisions. But it's quickly able to write something that's a workable proof of concept. I mean, if I have to write this myself, I would have never made this proof of concept. It would take me way too much time.
It's very, very insightful.
So what's next then? And are you having any exciting plans or packages already, or anything that you want to vibe code or code yourself in the nearest future?
Yeah, not sure yet. I've been working with AI things here, just working out ideas. We're pretty much in the experimental phase with small things going into production, getting some feeling, some feedback. I mean, tokens cost money. Where do you use AI? Because, like I mentioned before, just using AI for everything, I mean, it's not that great of idea. But where the strengths of AI are, especially in the context of the back office of Umbraco, like text generation, stuff like that, that's where I'm working on most at the moment. Next to updating the 15 packages to 16. That's a small thing. We recognize here at the agency, we recognize the importance of AI. So there's fortunately room to experiment, try things, and get our customers involved. That's also really important.
Maybe we can talk about some other stuff coming in Umbraco. So one of the things that came, I think, only yesterday was Ken and the core team have released a peek at the future of search in Umbraco. This is, of course, following an RFC and some talks at Code Garden and whatnot. But there's actually, is it an alpha, a beta? I'm not sure what we're calling it, but there's a preview version out of the of the new search abstractions, which is still early days. Ken has made a site that is a working example of this, and as he calls out in the README, it's very intentionally dirty. It's not supposed to be pretty, but it's just sort of surfacing the exact search functionality. And it now is possible to, with literally a single line of code, swap out the search implementation for a whole host of other providers. So I think Ken has an Elasticsearch example and some other example as well, but it's also using Examine. It has faceting. It has a lot of powerful stuff that's been difficult in Umbraco in the past, but is now super clean. So yeah, this is really nice. I'm excited about this. So it's available for 16.2 and onwards, I think, or maybe slightly less than that. But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that's gone into the core to make this optional, and Umbraco's essentially released the actual functionality as a package for now, and in the future it will it will work. Lars is singing Ken's praise in the chat. I agree. Ken is a lovely human. Seb says it's an alpha. Okay, it's an alpha. There's a list of things that need still to be implemented on Ken's blog somewhere here as well. But yeah, I think this is going to be a big improvement to the way we build search functionality in Umbraco.
Yeah, another game changer, and we discussed that after Code Garden probably, because you did this talk, Callum, and Ken also was showing the concepts, and now the concepts are got materialized and more, and now we have examples already. So that's quite interesting, and yeah, we are looking forward to this replacements of the potentials of replacements, because still it's something what was supposed to be abstracted quite in the past, but now it's getting there. So. Looking really nice.
This opens the door for a better AI searching, of course. It's way easier to swap out implementation. Really looking forward to this. So yeah.
But already Azure Search has this kind of methods, right, that are exposed from the engine itself, and then you can replace the provider, hide it behind the other method, and use it internally from the engine itself, but not from the implementation. Sure. We'll see. I'm looking forward for those use cases then, because literally we were trying to show customers recently how we can evolve their search, because each customer wants to have a better search. But it's really hard to define better search, knowing that you can do everything with the search.
But also people's perspective of search is, I think, actually more than ever being warped, because before it was like, oh, I go to Google and I get exactly the result that I'm wanting. They wanted their site search to work in the same way, and that's often just not the case, and often just not possible, because their data is not structured well, or they've just not got the budget for that. But then now I think people are sort of wanting ever more semantic search, where you can use natural language. They want sort of intent to be behind the search waiting, rather than just like exactly what I've typed. It's fascinating. It's
in terms of closed context searched, right?
Some
specific
we've done a few of these for customers where they wanted like a search that's personalized to the individual user based on if you're logged in, it weights certain things a certain way, and that's all been possible for a while. I think you can get a pretty good experience using off-the-shelf tools. I think I still stand by Examine being a fantastic tool that we can use to build very powerful search experiences, including twinning with an AI integration as well to, build more advanced queries. I think Ken said the same thing, and it's great that that's not going away in Umbraco anytime soon. It's often that people's ability to understand Examine and how it all works, the abstraction is not the cleanest. You still need to know exactly kind of what you're doing. The new Umbraco search stuff does go some way to make that friendlier and easier to use, which is great to see. But I feel like that's why we've seen people leaning more on these off-the-shelf like AI search things like Algolia to power. Oh, we need search like Google. Oh well, Algolia kind of exists and you just drop it in. There's not much code to write, but we've hit bottlenecks when we've used that in the past, and we've got a customer right now who's actively trying to remove Algolia from their site. So it goes both ways, doesn't it?
No, for me, it's the most important thing for extraction layer. I mean, if they do this right, then you won't notice a difference in the default settings of Umbraco. I mean, it will still use examine and Lucene, only with an added layer of abstraction. So that's a funny thing. It was the same with the back office. If you're doing it right, you won't notice the difference after a whole lot of work is done. But for me, the Lucene indexes on especially Azure DevOps, they're just a pain, and we have had way too many issues with those. So the fact that I can at least have an external search provider, even if it's self-hosted or Angolia or AI somewhere, I think that's the biggest strength. I mean, we have ExaminX, of course, so that's a paid plugin, so we can at least use Azure AI Search, for instance, but this abstraction layer takes it to the next level. So I think this is a really good call for doing that.
Yeah. Awesome. So search, what else has been going on? We had a script release, Marcin?
Some celebrations and some releases. So script, as you mentioned, there was a summer release, and I think this article catch my eye and has all of the practices that I need to remember myself after coming back to life after the holidays in summer already. So it has a lot of interesting highlights on how to again reset, refocus, and boost the energy before starting the work after summer. So I think it's needed. It's heavily needed for everyone who's coming back. And there was a second article that I haven't read yet about segment from Sean.
Segmentation,
So seems still on my to-do list to explore a little bit more. But if
it's just awesome that this is actually first-class citizen in the back office now and works, I think, compared to before, where you had to do a few quite bespoke things or implement a lot of code to make it look and work well. It's nice that it is just a interface that you implement now, and it works. But I'm yet to try it. We've every time we come up with a use case for segments, there's an equally compelling alternative way of doing something, and we've always been swayed towards just doing doing it the other way. But we'll see.
And what's your experiences with that, Luke? Have you been using any?
It's the same. It's the same. Finding a use case for it. I mean, we're working headless, and so it's really easy as just plopping in an extra additional property in the request. So it seems really easy to use. But so far, I've yet to find a use case where I really want to use segments.
But that's a really useful article, and as I mentioned, some celebrations, because Matt, UMB FYI celebrated 100th issue. So big kudos to Matt for this, and it's quite interesting to see the whole behind the scenes here highlighted by Matt because of this occasion. So all the numbers, all the statistics, all the evolution, analytics, and also the future. Because I'm quite excited about this, because we of course use it a lot. I do also myself catch up a lot on Umbraco news based on those curated.
We have it post into our Slack channel on a Wednesday when it comes in, so it drops in as a message there. We've got a community Slack channel, and it all just dumps in there, and we can talk about anything. And it's great. I love this dashboard concept that Matt's been prototyping. He's been teasing that. I've just loved the stuff that Matt's been sharing about what goes on in the background preparing this. He said a couple of weekends ago he spent the weekend building his own workflow engine for like the whole approval based flow, and setting off all kinds of stuff, because Matt uses a fair amount of AI to do AI summarization of content, and then there's a human element to piece it together. And he spent a whole weekend, so maybe a lot of time, but he wanted to scratch the itch and build a system that would help him make the newsletter more effectively. And it's fascinating. It's great. I can't believe it's been 100 issues. Honestly, already. It feels like it's only been going a few months, but 2 years is quite incredible. And it means we don't need to do a weekly episode anymore, Marcin. No one needs to listen to our boring voices each week. Matt just does all the work, puts all the news in the newsletters. It's great.
So, and that's exactly the evolution of content delivery, not the revolution. But I do look forward for more of this, and this dashboard looks awesome. And Matt thanks everyone who reads it, and we can't thank Matt for doing this, because again, I do remember back in the days when we tried to set up some kind of automation like this to help us for the weekly episodes of umbraCoffee.
We had Trello, we had an Airtable idea at one point, and that didn't really go anywhere. And like,
it's all about determination and execution, not ideas these days, right?
Everyone knows Matt Brailsford. He doesn't do things by half measures, does he? So
it gets increasingly difficult to get the interesting things to people, especially now that content generation is so much easier with AI. I'm really curious to see what value content's gonna have in the future. I mean, if everybody's just throwing everything online using AI, how do you know which is real? How do you know what's interesting? So this is great. For instance,
Matt's spoken a bit before about how he does a few things behind the scenes to try and quantify how valuable a piece of content is, to avoid things like reposting the same post over and over again and that getting flagged on FYI. Things like fully AI generated content, things that are just generally low value or poor quality, poorly written. So I would say Matt does a very good job each week of highlighting like 3 good articles, 3 good how-tos or something. And must be a lot of effort that's gone into that. And it's only going to get harder, isn't it, to dig those out?
Exactly.
But that's also why it's highly valuable to, again, be the curator of it and rely on support from automations, not let them do this for everyone. But that's that. And then it's nicely allowing us to segue to human topics and in-person events, because there is a lot of upcoming events and possibilities to do the exchanges of knowledge and discussions in real life. Callum, we've gathered a nice list of upcoming events, and we can start from US Festival.
I put them in chronological order for when they're happening. So we can talk about it. So US Festival, 2nd and 3rd of October in Chicago. They have announced their speaker lineup, which is looking good. And I would say kudos to them for putting together an almost all-American lineup. If we take Emma Burstow out of the mix, but it's kind of Emma's job, isn't it, to be there? They've done a great job of piecing together a really great looking event, and I'm just sad I won't be able to go, but it's a long flight from here. Buy your tickets. Tickets are on sale. They had some early bird ticket price that might have ended now, I think, or maybe it ends at the end of the week. Maybe it ends on Sunday. I can't quite remember.
Let's try. I don't know how to use it. It's still 200.
Right. If Clayton gets it, it'll tell you if it's an early bird or not. Never mind.
Exactly. So that's the one event. Second is a set of workshops.
Yes, we're doing some workshops. The Umbraco Foundation is running some workshops. So we've put together an Umbraco 17 Developer Day. The idea being it's a way of getting hands-on with the new LTS before it comes out and make sure that you're prepared. Answer all of the key questions of like getting over that fear of using the back office, etc. And that's happening on the 17th of October, which it was the only Friday that was a 17th. So it's like 17 on the 17th. It's also the day after the beta version of 17 should come out.
That's nice.
So we've caveated this heavily by saying if it doesn't come out or it's not stable, we won't be using it. Everything we'll be teaching is going to be on 16 as well. So it's okay. But it's just an opportunity for people to get hands-on and actually learn a bit more about how the platform works from some community experts. So go buy a ticket if you're interested in that. It's in London on October 17th. And then we've got a call out for some potential other workshops in future that we're just trying to gather some interest for. That's below on the same page, but we'll have a link down below for that.
Then we have a call to actions and call for speakers still for Umbraco Kalas. That is happening a little bit later in Stockholm.
From Wednesday, sorry.
Yeah, the whole team is still looking for collecting the best agenda possible and yeah, if you are around, and especially still the focus is around more local still speakers, customers, users of Umbraco, developers. So
if the call for speakers is closed, if you click the link, I think it's actually closed now. But I think so. But tickets. Oh no, this is the fun thing. That's a secret link that takes you to Sessionize to bypass the expiry. It did close 14 days ago. Yeah, I noticed that. But yeah, they are putting together an agenda. It should be out fairly soon. You can buy tickets. It was a great event last year. They're aiming to go bigger and better this year. So yeah, buy a ticket if you can be there.
Yeah, and then one new item that we haven't discussed yet. When was it announced?
I don't know really. It's been announced a couple of times in different forms, like on social media, and then the full website. I think the full website came on the 1st of August, so it would have been slightly after the last umbraCoffee. If you put your cursor over the little bug there, it will flap its wings. Oh no! Scroll down. There might be another one.
No, maybe this one. Yeah, this one is working.
And in the footer as well, there's one that flaps its wings. Nice. Phil vibe coded that. He told me. That's awesome. But yeah, Umbraco in the city in Manchester. The Manchester meetup are running a large meetup, a mini conference on the 7th of November, the day after the Umbraco UK Partner Summit, and you can buy a ticket. It's £50 plus VAT, £60 total. I think that's a nice, really good value thing. And I've managed to. I'm in Prague. I'm in Europe that week. I'm in Prague, like a few days after. So I've managed to tweak my travel, so I'll actually be there. So I'm looking forward to this one particularly.
Nice. And the team is still looking for speakers as well, right? So,
they are until the 22nd of September, I'm told.
Yeah.
They'll cover a night of accommodation, and it's just a really nice, intimate, single track event, hopefully up to about 80 people. Buy your tickets as soon as possible or put your talks in.
Nice. And last but not least, there's Umbraco DK Festival that is happening then in December. So just as a reminder, and we will of course follow up on this one closer to the event, but also the program here is
there's no program, but
there's call to action. Yeah, but I was looking because I'm checking from time to time there as well. But call for speakers ends in a couple of days, right? So that's still a chance to enter the event. And yeah, it's looking like a good packed end of the year for everyone who looks for human interactions and exchange of knowledge. It's more than automated articles and information that we need to filter out. But it looks good. It looks good. And Callum, so we are starting travels. And Luke, what about you? Were you attending some of them? Are you planning to attend some of the events to the end of the year?
I must say that animated bug almost made me feel like I really wanted to go to Manchester. But no, after the yearly community meetup is scheduled. So I'm looking really forward to do it at HQ. For the rest now, I think it's going to be Code Garden next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I booked flights for Code Garden the other day, just to be really cool. Yeah.
That's the crazy planning part. But knowing how time flies, it's not that far away in time when we'll be already talking about Code Garden. But now let's enjoy the last bits of summer or the beginning of the summer for some. And Callum, you are going to travel a lot then, and so probably we'll catch up the next month with already some highlights and informations from some of the events. So we'll be definitely highlighting them. And then look, keep up the good work and keep vibe code.
Keep vibing.
Keep vibing.
I will keep calling it vibe coding just for Callum, So
I hate it so much.
It's gonna be fun.
So share whatever you will develop or delegate to be developed by AI, and we'll be definitely highlighting and sharing this amongst the community. And thanks for joining us today and being able to chat about it.
Thanks for having me.
It's great to see you, Luke. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, everyone. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.